ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। I am sorry I couldn't be with you last week. We had to work, so we were working all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I was physically extremely draining, so I just didn't have the strength or the time to do a class. We had some project to finish, so it was quite intense. So part of that was my sadness because we were going through the Yuddha Kanda in a momentum, one after the other. The generals of Ravana were being killed, and the news keeps going back to him. He becomes angry, he becomes ashamed, perhaps a little embarrassed. Anger is going on, increasing as to how is it possible. He cannot fathom it. Anger arises from usually expectations that are not met. His expectation is that one after the other, his very decorated generals would be able to finish Rama, Lakshmana, Hanuman, Sugriva, and the whole Vanara army. And they all professed that they would do so. But one after the other, the only news that came back to him was that his generals were dying. He did not hear that any of the mighty warriors on Ramachandra's side had died. Nila, Nala, Gava, Gavaksha, Jambavan, Sushena, Hanuman, Sugriva, Angada, Lakshmana, Ramachandra, nobody. Although Indrajit had tied them up, that was the news that gave him great pleasure. But very quickly they were released and they had full vigor in them again. So Ravana was being the best word. Ravana was being frustrated again and again and again. And so finally, his commander in chief, Prahasta, who stood by him for all these years and helped him win battles against the demigods, was killed. And that news reached Ravana. Tasmin hate Rakshasa Sainya Pale. Rakshasa Sainya Pale. The one who is the commander in chief, the leader, the ruler, the controller of the Rakshasa army, Plavangamanam Rushabhena. Plavangamanam Rushabhena. Among the monkeys, the best of them, Yuddhe, in the battlefield, Bhima Ayudham. Bhima Ayudham. Although he was carrying powerful weapons, Sagara Vela Tulya Vidutvave. Vidut Dhruve, that this entire army of Sri Ramachandra, consisting of Vanaras, had spread far and wide like the shore of an ocean, was killed. Vivrut Dhruve Rakshasa Rajya Sainyam. Rakshasa Raja Sainyam. That the army of Ravana, actually what was spread and was not the Vanara army, but Ravana's army, which had so vast and fearful like the shore of an ocean. Now someone may say, the shore of an ocean, why is it scary? The water is actually, when you stand at the shore of the ocean, you see how far, wide, and you get a sense of how deep the ocean can be. It's very scary. And this Ravana's army, that was such a scary, at the helm of that army was Prahasta. Although the entire army is carrying Bhima Yudham, very powerful weapons, really could not stand a chance. Then the commander-in-chief Prahasta had gone, taken his permission and all of that, and yet that general was killed. So something happens for Ravana. Ravana became very sad. Sankhe Prahastam Nihatyam Nishamya, having heard that in the battlefield Prahasta was Nihatam, was killed, Krodhata Artita Shoka Parita Cheta. So there are these emotions. Krodha Ardita. Ardita, filled with, uh, overwhelmed with. Or Ardita. We know what Arti is. Arti is one who is distressed. Not Arati. Arati is worship. Arti. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Arto Artarthi. Artha. Here it says Krodhardita. Krodhad Artita. So he was tormented. He was, I guess, dipped or drowning in anger. Shoka Parita Cheta. Shoka Parita. His entire consciousness, Cheta, or his heart, was surrounded by or filled with Shoka, lamentation. Vachan Tan Rakshasa Mukhyan Indro Yatha Nirjara Yutha Mukhyan. Just the way Indra addresses all of his armies and his generals, Ravana addressed his generals, whoever was left with them. Don't consider this Vanara army to be anything easy. Although my general Prahasta was able to easily kill the army of Indra, which is filled with devatas, has been killed along with his elephants and followers by this Vanara army. Therefore, I have decided that I will enter the battlefield into this incredible scene with my own army, my own battalions, and everyone else who's there, and make sure that we will become victorious in this conquest. What will I do? I will shoot stream of arrows at the Vanara army, Rama and Lakshmana also. I will burn away the entire Vanara army with the heat from my bow and arrows. And I will soak the entire earth with the blood of the Vanaras. That means I will shed so much blood, the earth will turn red. Adyatad vanaranikam ramam cha salakshmanam nirdahishyami. I will burn them. Baner, banau, bana oghair vanam. Along with my bows and arrows. Just the way a forest is burned by a forest fire. Deepter Agnir, Deepter Ivagnibihi. Just the way a forest fire burns down the entire forest, nobody is spared. Ramachandra's army will be burnt down. I'll be like a forest fire. Having spoken like that, Ravana here is called the enemy of Indra, because we hear the verse from Bhagavatam, right? Ete cham sakala pumsham krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam lokam. Indra Ari. Wherever there are enemies of Indra and the entire lokam, the world is tormented by them, the Supreme Lord appears again and again and again. So he got on to his body was dazzling. Prakashamanam vapusha jvalantam. His entire body became effulgent. His uh, power, his entire tejas became so strong when he decided, I will enter the battlefield. Samaruroham raraja shatruhu. He got on to his chariot, which was drawn by excellent horses, and the entire chariot was shining because it was made with gold. So when he goes out on the battlefield, looking at his chariot and his horses, his flag, and the size of his chariot, everybody should feel scared. So as Ravana is leaving his Lanka, on the side there are these loud blowing of conches, beating of kettle drums, dum, 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 and armies are clapping their arms. There is loud menacing sounds everywhere, lions roaring, and surrounding entire army are making loud war cries. At least you've seen in scenes, they have their spears and they bang the spears to the ground, so there's the loud thud noise. Surrounded by hundreds and thousands of Rakshasas, this army of Ravana started moving out, and it seemed like a dense, dark cloud that is moving to cover the sky. And Ravana was shining like Lord Shiva. And all of his followers looked like the Bhuta Ganas, the ghosts that follow Lord Shiva. Because he is a great devotee of Lord Shiva, he's invoking, that's the Dhvani, he's invoking the blessings of Lord Shiva. All at once they left the city of Lanka. That means they're coming out of all the four gates, the eastern, the southern, the western, the northern, and they are entering the place where Ramachandra is standing. Now, when the Vanara army hears all this clamor, loud clamor, I don't know how to express it. You just have to imagine the loud clamor of millions and millions and billions of Rakshasas beating kettle drums and crying loudly, war cries, and walking out. The monkeys very quickly picked up large boulders, trees, rocks, and are waiting when they are hearing the Rakshasa army coming in as the clat, the rumbling of thunderclouds. When Sri Ramachandra saw this army of Rakshasas, and each of them looked so tenacious. Ramachandra looked at that army, turned to Vibhishana, out of wonder, and said, "Wow, look at this army. The kind of weapons they are carrying, the way they are organized, the way they are moving. Looks like the entire army of soldiers looks so big and formidable. The elephants are so big, each of them looks like a Mount Mahendra. Nana Pataka Dhwaja Chhatra Jushtam." There's a poetry in the verse. So here the word is Jushtam. Jushtam means decorated with, endowed with, or having, or containing. Nana Pataka Dhwaja Chhatra Jushtam. Pataka, flags, Dhwaja is the uh, Dhwaja is this that is stiff, and Pataka is flag. Chhatra, so many umbrellas. Prasasi Shulayudha Shastra Jushtam. Prasasi. Prasasi. Powerful missiles, weapons, bows, arrows that look like, and darts that look like swords and spikes, and all of this. Kasyedam akshobhya akshobhyam abhir akshobhyam abhirujushtam. What is this? Akshobhya. This is unending army. Kasya, whose army is this that is so big? Sainyam Mahendropama Naga Jushtam. Mahendra Upama. Each elephant looks like Mount Mahendra. What kind of an army is this? So there's this lovely poetic way in which Valmiki is describing the army in words of Sri Ramachandra. Vibhishana, when he heard this, he said, "Oh, Sri Ramachandra, this is," and Ramachandra is asking, "Who are all these people? Who are all these? Kasya? Who are all these people?" So then Vibhishana is now pointing to one by one. He says, "That one that you see is so gigantic, hmm, who has shoulders uh, so powerful, riding on the back of an elephant and shining like the sun." You cannot look at the sun with your bare eyes. Shining like the sun, his name is Akampana. Now we may say, "Oh, Akampana? Wasn't he killed previously?" Yes, this is a different Akampana. There are two persons that have the same name, Akampana and Nikumbha. Both were previously killed, but there are others also with the same name. So one shouldn't be surprised. Like Rama, there are multiple Ramas. There is Balarama, there is Janaki Rama, and there is Parashurama or Bhargava Rama. Just in terms of the personalities of Godhead. Now, what to speak of so many Ramas in the universe? So, anybody can be named Ram. So, like that, there are multiple persons with the same name. He says, so that's Akampana, who's shining reddish like the sun, and who's sitting on an elephant. And Akampana is so heavy, and although now we have to put the pictures together, each elephant is like Mount Mahendra. On that Mount Mahendra like elephant is sitting Akampana, and his weight is so heavy because he has so much muscle, not fat, so much muscle that the head of the elephant is swaying. Hmm? Because he's too heavy when he's sitting on that elephant. Then he points to the other one. Oh, on that chariot, who's sitting there having the flag with the emblem of a lion on it, who is brandishing his bow, and his bow is shining like the bow of Indra. who has exposed fearful teeth. So these canine teeth are exposed and big and looks like an elephant himself. Because of the blessings of Lord Brahma, that person is Indrajit. And on that side, he who looks mighty big like the Vindhya mountains and uh, himself looks like the Mahindra mountain in size, is sitting on this fantastic chariot, stretching his bow, having such a huge body. His name naturally is Atikaya. Kaya is body. We say the mantra Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakrute svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayana yeti samarpayami. At the end of whatever puja or we do, this is a famous verse that you say Kayena vacha. If I've committed anything with my body, mind, words, intelligence, and senses, prakriti of my own nature, if I've done something, karomi yadyat, whatever I do with my body, mind, words, intelligence, narayana yeti samarpayam, I offer it to Lord Narayana. So he is Atikaya, the fantastic body. Ati, too much, big, gigantic body. On that side is a famous hero. If you look at his eyes, they're reddish, coppery looking ones, as if it looks like the early rising sun, who's riding on an elephant. And the trumpeting of the elephant sounds like the loud ringing of mighty bells. Right behind our house is a big church, and that church has bells that ring. Of course, its sound is very pleasing, but you can imagine it must be a mighty bell because you can hear it far and wide. And who's roaring in very harsh tones. He has great courage. Mahadhira. His name is Mahodara. Maha Udara. That means he has a very big belly. Maha Udara. Bhima is called Vrikodara because he has great appetite. Mahodara, great big stomach because he has great appetite. He can eat away the monkeys like anything. Now, that person who's coming on this horse that is decked with golden jewels, and he himself is shining like a mountain that is crowned by an evening cloud. Yeah. He is holding a spear-like weapon that is clothed with luster. It is shining so much like the shine looks like a cloth that is covering that spear. His name is Pishacha. And he can move and has the strength of a jolt of lightning. On that side, the guy who's holding with a sharp pike, a pike is like a spear, also shining like lightning and has the speed and impact of a thunderbolt, riding on a bull that is so mighty and bright like a full moon. His name is Trishira. Trishira, three heads. Ravana is called Dasha Griva, is Trishira. And there is Kumbha, who is the son of Kumbhakarna. Kumbha, who himself is so big he resembles a mighty cloud, whose chest is fleshy and broad and well shaped. That means very muscular. And on his flag is an emblem of Vasuki, the king of the snakes. He is coming fully prepared, stretching and brandishing or showing off his bow. Look at all this mighty, they're all. So instead of sending one by one, Ravana has brought the entire army out. Then there is Nikumbha, who is so big. He's carrying a gada in his hand And that gada is studded with diamonds and made of gold and it's shining like fresh fire. That side is Narantaka, who is as strong as the peak of mountains, and he is sitting on a chariot. Now, just as Lord Shiva, who's surrounded by ghosts, hmm, all these Rakshasas are coming out and they all have hideous, scary forms, just as the followers of Lord Shiva have eyes and heads that are very scary. They have heads of tigers, camels, elephants, deer, horses. They're surrounded by this mighty, mighty army under a umbrella that is clean, white, and shining like a full moon. Someone is there. That personality is very unique. Then Sri Ramachandra, now Vibhishana is also glorifying Ravana. Asau Kiriti Chakundalasyo Nagendra Vindhopama Bhimakaya Mahendra Vaivaswata Darpahanta Rakshodhipa Surya Ivava Bhati. Look at his kiriti. So many crowns are made of dazzling gold studded with jewels. Kundalasyo, Kundala Asyo. Look at his earrings. Very beautiful, shining earrings. Naga Indra Vindhyopama. Naga Indra, the king of elephants, which is Airavata. He looks like Airavata and is so big. Upama Bhimakaya, fearsome body. Mahendra Vaivaswata Darpahanta. Mahendra Vaivaswata. He is the one who can embarrass Indra and Surya Deva. Rakshodhipa, Surya Ivava Bhava, and he is shining like the sun. He is the king of the Rakshasas, Ravana. When Ramachandra saw Ravana at such close proximity, not far from him, even Sri Ramachandra is surprised. Wow. Aho, he says, Aho, Deepta Mahateja Ravano Rakshaseshwara. This Ravana is shining like anything. Handsome, fantastic, big, mighty, decorated, looking so, wow, dominating. Ramachandra himself is a descendant of the Surya Vamsha, but when he looks at Ravana, he is describing Ravana as Aditya Iva Duspreksha. He is so bright and effulgent that you cannot see him. He's shining so much, just like you cannot look at the sun. Aditya Iva Duspreksha. Duspreksha, you cannot look at the sun. Difficult to see the sun. Rashmi Bhir Bhati Ravana. Rashmi Bhir, he's exuding rays of light like the sun is, and so you cannot see. It's very hard. Navyaktam Lakshya Hyastam Rupam Teja Samavratam. In fact, he's shining so much that I cannot tell what his form looks like. Try looking at the sun. It's very hard to see and say that it is exactly spherical. Once in a while, you'll see a little, but your eyes will burn if you look at the sun. So Ramachandra says, I cannot decipher what his form looks like from his effulgence. Devadanav Viranam Vanu Vapunair Vividham Bhavet Yadrusham Raksasendrasya Vapuretad Virajate. The great personalities that reside in the higher realms Deva Danava Viranam. So, like the Devas and Danavas, even their bodies are not shining so brightly as Ravana's body is. Sarvai Parvata Sankasha. All the people that he has come out with, they all look like Parvata Sankasha. They are all shining and big like mountains. Sarve Parvata Yodhinaha. They all look like warriors, each one of like a mountain. Sarve Deepta Yudadhara. And they're all holding weapons that are all shining, blazing. Yodhastasya Mahatmanaha. Hmm? They all look so dominating. Ravana looks like a death personified, surrounded by Yamaraja's followers. Vibhati Rakshasa Rajasau Pradiptair Bhima Darshane. To look at them is fearful. Bhute Parivrutas Tikshanair Dehavadbhir Ivantakaha. Just to what to fight with them, to look at them is scary. He's considering what his army will have to go through. Ramachandra himself is not afraid, but wow, look at Ravana's presence. Okay. Wow, how is it possible? And then Ramachandra's warrior nature. Of course, he loves a fantastic challenge. That is why he has appeared on this earth planet. Dishtya, Dishtyayam Adya, out of great fortune. Dishtya means out of fortune. So great fortune. Papatma Mama Drushtipatham Gataha. This Papatma, this sinful fellow, has fallen in the line of sight of my eyes. Adya Krodhyam Vimokshami. Today I will release this so much anger that I have. Sita Haranas Sambhavam. This anger is arising out of the fact that he has taken away Sita from me. It is my fortune that this fellow has fallen in my sight, in my line of sight. Saying this, Ramachandra picked up his mighty bow and took an excellent arrow from his quiver. And Lakshmana, who's standing right behind him, Ramachandra stretched the arrow on his bow. Now, on that side, Ravana is addressing all of his mighty Rakshasas. Be confident, have no fear. You stand at these gates of Lanka, and all the gates of the buildings and principal main streets stand there fearlessly. Know that I have entered the battlefield to fight alongside with you, which the city was becoming weak, so I had to enter this on my own. I will go out and destroy all of the Vanaras because they were attacking our city Lanka. Now he gave them orders to fight. So the Rakshasa army departed Lanka and came and started massacring the Vanara army in such a way that Valmiki gives us a visual. Just when you have, let's say, a speedy boat or a massive ship that crosses the ocean, it splits the water of the ocean. So like that, the Vanaras were completely being destroyed, and this ocean-like army was being split by the Rakshasa army. Everything they could get their hands on, they were fighting with. When Sugriva saw this, after all, he's the king of the army, Sugriva cracked open a mountain peak and very fast went towards the Rakshasas. Actually, they went towards Ravana. And Ravana is carrying bows and arrows. Sugriva has a mountain top. Sugriva picked up that mountain top, and that mountain top had so many trees and lush, verdant greenery on it. He threw that rock on Ravana. When Ravana saw such a mighty mountaintop coming his way, he completely split it into small pieces with his very beautiful golden arrows. When the mountain peak completely shattered and fell on the ground, that uh, that whole vision, Valmiki says, that arrow looked like a mighty snake and Ravana looked like Yamaraj himself. Then uh, he picked up an arrow that has like a Nagastra, very powerful arrow, and discharged it, that has the same strength and impact like Indra's Vajrayudham, Indra's thunderbolt weapon, and he released it on Sugriva with an intention to finish and kill Sugriva. Now, when this arrow reached Sugriva, it pierced right through Sugriva. Hmm? And it said that the power with which that weapon came towards Sugriva is similar to the weapon released by Kartikeya. And that weapon, once in the fight, Kartikeya, who's the Senapati, had released a weapon on the Krauncha mountain, and it had that weapon of Kartikeya pierced through the entire Krauncha mountain. So here the comparison is Sugriva is as powerful and big as a mountain, but Ravana's arrow is as powerful as Kartikeya's weapon, and it completely pierced Sugriva. Sugriva almost became stupefied, and he fell down on the ground, groaning with that pain. Now, as soon as they saw Sugriva fall, the whole Rakshasa army started loudly shouting, "Yeah!" Because now they will gain strength, that the mightiest Vanara, the king of the Vanaras, got hit by Ravana. So they think, oh, he's going to die for sure. Suddenly, when they saw their leader Sugriva fallen on the ground, Gavaksha, Gavaya, Sushena, Rishabha, Jyotirmukha, Nala, all of them became so enraged that they all rushed towards Ravana at the same time. Ravana, 10 heads, 20 arms, he very quickly started releasing very sharp arrows at all of these monkeys. And as they're running towards him, each of them is being pierced by these very handsome looking arrows, powerful like anything. And one by one, they were being hit by Ravana and they were all falling to the ground. And as they are falling to the ground, Ravana is releasing so many arrows on the monkeys that the monkey army is just falling to the ground, one after the other, one after the other. Not just one after the other, but hundreds and hundreds all together, because there are so many arrows being released by Ravana. And the Vanaras, as they are being hit, are shrieking "Ah!" and falling on the ground. And the others who were not hit by Ravana very quickly ran and fell at the feet of Sri Ramachandra. Please save us, protect us, please save us, please protect us. Te vadhyamana patitascha veera Nanadyamana Bhayashalya Viddhaha. Na Nanadyamana. Nadyamana. They all falling into the ground. Shakha Mruga. Suddenly they are called Shakha Mruga, which means they are monkeys. They're fragile. Ravana Sayakarta. Ravana Sayaka Artha. They are being distressed by Ravana and Ravana's army. Jagmuhu Sharanyam. Sharanam Sma Ramam. Sma means certainly, for sure. Jagmuhu. They all went and fell at Ramachandra's feet saying, Sharanam, Sharanam, Ramachandra, Sharanam. We are all falling at your feet. When anyone of us is tormented by our mind, because Ravana is there, or any of physical, mental distresses, Adibhautika, Adidaivika, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, etc. Whatever is the distress, Sharanyam, Sharanam, Sma, Ramam, one should in one heart say, O Sri Krishna, I am at your shelter. Sri Ramachandra, I am yours. Remember, he told Vibhishna, what did he say? Sakriteva prapannaya tavasmiti cha yachate. Even once, somebody who comes to me and says, Tavasmi, I am yours. I am yours means I am your surrendered soul. Whatever is the difficulty, our mind may be tormented, our body may be tormented. We fold our hands and say, Tavasmi, Tavasmi. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama or Tavasmi. I am your surrendered soul. So Ramachandra, as soon as he heard this this Sharana of the pleas for Sharana from the Vanaras, Tato Mahatma Sa Dhanushman Nadya. Sorry, Sa Mahatma Sa Dhanu Dhanushman Adya Rama Sahasa Jagama. Ramachandra went there with a mighty bow. Tam Lakshmanam Pranjalirabhyupetya. Lakshmana folded his hands and spoke. Uvacha Ramam Paramartha Yuktam. Spoke very, very useful, beautiful, meaningful words. Because Ramachandra is just about to take on his bow. Before Ramachandra can go there, Lakshmana says, Kamamarya Suparyopto Vadhasya Duratmanaha Vidhamishyamaham. I am equal to this Ravana, this evil fellow. Oh, my dear noble brother Sri Ramachandra, please grant me the permission to go fight with Ravana. You don't need to go at all. Because Lakshmana is thinking, for such a small, tiny, useless fellow like Ravana, why should such a mighty warrior like Ramachandra go? This is like some celebrity tennis player playing with a little 4-year-old kid. So, like, it doesn't make any sense. That's not even a match or a fight or a game of equals. I'm there. I'm your servant. Just order me. I will go. So Ramachandra said, Gacha yatna parap yatna paraschapi bhava Lakshmana samyuge. Go Lakshmana. Please go. But be prepared that Ravana, he himself is a Mahavirya. And he himself is Adbhuta Parakrama. He has very astounding, astonishing ability to fight. Trailokyenapi sankruddho dusprahasyo na samshayaha. When he is angered, Even the three worlds cannot tolerate him. Trailokyenapi sankruddho dushprahasyaho prasahagyo sahana is to bear. Dushprahas, even it's difficult for the three worlds to bear Ravana when Ravana becomes angry. So when you go to fight with him, he will become angry. And here's an advice. You examine what are Ravana's weak points. You be aware of what are your own weak points. Be vigilant. Defend yourself with your eyes and with your bow. Excellent advice. We'll take it into a practical level very soon. Tasya chidrani margasva swachindrani cha lakshya. Chitra is flaw. Chakshusha dhanushatmanam gopayasva samahitaha. Gopayasva, examine, be alert. When we are tackling with our minds, here is an advice from Sri Ramachandra. We should all know what is the weak point of our mind. We obviously know the strong point. We should know what the weak points are. We should all know what our own weak points are. How easily certain things will make us completely surrender to the mind or become defeated by the mind. One should be aware when one is battling with one's mind. My spiritual master once told as an instruction in a class itself, when someone asked, what do I do or how can I protect myself when my mind can become so strong? And his answer was, vigilance itself is a protection. Vigilance is, I know in this situation, as I'm entering a situation, there are certain things that will bother me. I know, so I should be alert. And when one is vigilant, one is protected. Whatever is each one of us has something with our mind. When, let's say, someone's gossiping, I know I love gossip. And if I walk into that situation, I know that I will get drawn into gossip. Not only that, I will add to that gossip. So I should be vigilant. I know there are sweets or savories or some wonderful food items which I know are my weak points. So I should be vigilant that in that situation, that's what will be there. I prepare myself that, oh, I'm not going to. Something else, beautiful men, women, something lusty or attractive, or this or that, or I have a tendency to criticize the devotees. So as soon as the situation is in that sense where it's a discussion of something critical about some devotees, I should be, whatever it is, each one of us has a little trapdoor from which we fall right into murky areas. So Ramachandra is saying, Chakshusha Dhanusha Atmanam. So here, Chakshusha means you have to look for these scenarios and be vigilant. And the devotee sees things by hearing. Krishna calls that Shastra Chakshu. One sees the world through the eyes of scripture. And Dhanusha means by conducting your daily activities, that will be your protection. Now, he's not telling Lakshmana that. Directly, Lakshmana is being told by your Dhanusha. Equip yourself enough to fight the situation. If you're not equipped, you don't know. You don't know the tools of how to deal with your mind. You don't know how to deal with situations of life. If you're not equipped with the holy name, with the shelter of Shastra, with the company of Vaishnavas, the thinking in our mind of the great devotees who have withstood so much difficulties. These are all our Dhanusha. We are weapons by which we can withstand any difficulty. Be careful, he's saying. Hearing the advice of Sri Ramachandra, Lakshmana embraced Sri Ramachandra. He says honoring and greeting him, which means Ramachandra. Raghavasya vachana shrutva samparishvajya pujya cha. Lakshmana embraced Sri Ramachandra. Pujya cha, which means touched his feet, offered words of respect. Abhivadya. Abhivadya said wonderful things of respect and honor to Ramachandra. Ramaya Yayau Saumitri Ahave. Ahave, Lakshmana sallied forth. So Lakshmana now has gone forward. This chapter has 140 some verses. I don't think I can complete it. 146 verses. So I'll have to stop here. Next week, Lakshmana will fight with Ravana. We'll see what happens. But I'm going to keep that as our cliffhanger. So hopefully we'll not miss being together. Any thoughts, reflections, questions, comments? You want to add something, embellish the conversation, not conversation, embellish the talk, please. You're welcome to say something.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I like the examples that you gave for being vigilant.
Yeah.
Even though there are all small examples, it was very nice and easily, compare, what we have in our heart, like sweets or like some lusty desires or gossiping, something. And my takeaway.
I said each one of us has our own trapdoor.
Correct. Yeah. Very practical examples you gave. And my takeaway point is that today, like, one should be like vigilant, like how His Holiness Rompad Swami Maharaj gave the example, being so vigilant for ourselves, right? We don't need anyone, just ourselves. And for that, constant hearing and being a Shastra Chakshushu. I remember when we were doing the Bhakti Shastri course, the very first, what's the purpose of doing Bhakti Shastri? The answer was like, being a Shastra Chakshushu, right? Everyone had their own answer, but my answer was this, and I like this answer very much. That was my goal, being, studying Bhakti Shastri. And now you were saying being a Shastra Chakshushu is going to help us, right? So thank you. My takeaway point is that from today's class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances.
Nitai Gaurachandra.
Thank you for your kind words. It's just a name. Prabhu, as Jyoti Mai Mataji was telling about takeaway point, my takeaway point from this lecture is the same, that we have to prepare nobody can guide us, but prepare ourselves that, hey, this is your weak point. Don't go, like Gulab Jamun, it's my weak point. Don't go there. Can you elaborate a little bit more how, because Krishna says that whatever happened, but the power of mind is so powerful. Kama Esha, Krodha Esha is such a powerful force, is that even if you want to, Yatatopi Kantaya, there are so many verses given in Bhagavad Gita. Can you elaborate a little bit how to discipline our mind? I know this is not a question to be asked in Ramayana, but please, if you can, a little bit.
So the instruction is in Ramachandra's statement to Lakshmana itself. Not only should one look there, he's saying to Ravana, you should know his weak points, which means you know his strong points. You should know his weak points. but you should also be aware of your own weak points. And then, otherwise, most people or many uh, sometimes don't consider what their own weaknesses is. You've heard the phrase many times, flirting with Maya. It's a phrase that's been used many times, flirting with Maya. People try and see how far near the edge they can go to feel, oh, I can do it. It's like uh, when you're at a when you're in the beach, not you, but when someone's at the beach, they want to go as far into the water as they think they can manage. Water up to here, some will say up to here is okay. So most people will come up to that edge and they think that's okay. Or the phrase of living on the edge. It's always you're at the edge of risk, right? Driving fast, driving without seat belt, or just certain things you drive at the edge, paying the bills in the last minute to avoid something. So these are all living on the edge, going to the airport in the very last minute and running through one thing to other because we calculated, oh, we don't need so much time. What am I going to sit there in the airport and do? I've lived like that for a very, very long time, especially in my younger days. Were like, I would calculate. Right? It takes so much time to go to the airport, so much to go there. And I found myself so much at the edge of things. Sometimes it's so much anxiety. And since the past, whatever, 10 some years, I don't drive fast. I don't try and live on the edge as much as possible. Now, on certain factors, certain things I'm still working on, but there is always that living on the edge. So the words of my Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, is that try and be at the center of the road, right in the middle of the road. Because in the middle of the road, even if you sway, you have some room to sway. If you're on the edge of the road and you sway, then you're off the road. So the middle of the road path is, in a very simple way, of course, we can elaborate a lot more, is the 24 instructions given by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction. He gives 24 points to just follow. 6 things will help you this way, 6 things will cause harm, 6 things will nourish you, and 6 ways you'll remain protected and in the shelter of devotees. You'll be in the heart of the devotees. 24 points.
Yes, Prabhu. And this is a wonderful explanation you gave that we like to be on the edge of the road. We want to flirt with
We all,
Maya and we want
not
to
you,
see
we
as
all.
far
We
as
all love the
as
idea.
not me, not you all. I at least I sorry for generalizing this statement. I personally want to flirt with Maya and see how much far. This is I don't know. This only come after experience, Prabhu. This is a very wonderful statement you made. That we want to flirt with the Maya and go as much as far we can, and then okay. But Prabhu, being in the center of a road, as Maharaj spoke, uh, how to avoid ourselves flirting with the Maya to the extent that okay, to
So that's
trust
the answer.
ourselves.
Vigilant. Vigilant. Vigilance means who is vigilant? It is the troops or guards that are standing at the gate on the walls. They're vigilant. They're always looking. So we're vigilant. We're vigilant of our thoughts. We're vigilant of our speech. We're vigilant of our behaviors. I mean, we are. I mean, that's our practice. That is our sadhana. We catch ourselves drifting away.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. At least this
So now you
statement will
want
help me a
to add
lot.
something.
Flirting with the Maya till we can survive. Thank you.
So vigilance is important.
I was thinking being in the center of the road.
Hmm. Can you speak a little louder? Come on.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, they can hear you.
So being in the center, like as
Should I
you
turn
were
the camera?
speaking, no, as you were speaking, when I was thinking the same point, what keeps us in the center? What keeps us in the center, I was thinking, is on one side is our own sadhana bhakti, like our sadhana practices and
Right.
instructions, and on the other
side is the association of sadhus.
Exactly.
So-
Attachment to a sadhu.
Yeah, the same thing that we did in the retreat. So then when these two, you are sandwiched in between, so when you sway this way or that way, you're always protected by your own practices and instructions that you've received. And on the other side, the sadhu who keeps you protected. So I was saying.
That's Ramachandra's Chakshusha, Dhanusha.
Yeah.
Both these, you have to be vigilant. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. The reason I use the Lakshmana's Dhanusha in this way as one's sadhana or one's duties, and I'll give you the connection if you want. In Aranya Kanda,
Sure.
chapter 11, I think verse number 1, the three of them are walking. Ramachandra, Sita behind Ramachandra, and Lakshmana behind her. And Valmiki uses the phrase ha in that. And he says, Agratah prayau Rama, Sita madhye sumadhyama, Prushtatascha dhanushpani, Lakshmano anujagama ha. The ha, the Vaishnavacharyas explain, is Valmiki is looking at Om, the personification of Omkara walking. And Om is made of A, U, and Ma, and these syllables appear exactly in the front, middle, and end of the verse. Agratah prayayo Ramaha. Sita madhye su madhyama. The Ukara is there. Prishtatascha dhanurpani Lakshmano anujagama. That's the Ma. Ha. It's Om, the Supreme Lord, His Hladini potency, and the Jivatma. Now, Ramachandra is also carrying a bow, but Valmiki only says Dhanusha. Prishtatascha Dhanushpani Lakshmana Anujagama. Why Lakshmana only is carrying the bow, or referred to as Lakshmana carrying the bow? Because Lakshmana represents the Jiva here. The bow, according to Mundaka Upanishad, the bow is one's sadhana, is the meditation, one's body and mind and energies. The sadhana, the body is represented by the bow. The arrow is the mantra that needs to be shot towards the goal, the target of Supreme Brahman. And therefore, Lakshmana is carrying the bow because he's the one who's performing his sadhana, his duties. Therefore, he's holding that bow. So that is what I connected here when he says, with your bow and your eyes, be alert. That's the connection. That's the Jiva's way of being alert and vigilant. Okay, we're 9:35.
Thank you, both of you.
This is the works and words of great acharyas. We're just parroting, repeating. Okay, any other thoughts? Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. May the wonderful words of Sri Ramachandra ring in our ears, bathe our consciousness and glow in our heart, so we may also stand and give the Ravana-like mind a formidable challenge, knowing that we are embraced by Sri Ramachandra's words, embraced by Sri Ramachandra. We glorify and Lakshmana's protection is that he is glorifying Sri Ramachandra. So we also engage in the kirtan, the glorification of Sri Ramachandra's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, every day, all the time, as much as possible, as much as is we can, we hear, we speak and remember. Wonderful, wonderful personality, Sri Ramachandra, his consort Sita Devi, his amazing associates Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, and wonderful sane of Vanaras, may we become a tiny speck of dust at their lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.